if you spent 7 years working as a petroleum engineer in England and you saw all the sights there were to see, the Roman ruins at Bath, the prehistoric, if you want to call it, monoliths at Stonehenge, what would you do when you came back to the United States? Well, if you were Jim Rander, you'd create Carhenge. Come on, let's go take a look. All right, well, this is Carhenge. Here you go. Carhenge, Stonehenge. They look alike, don't they? Carhenge was actually built as an exact replica of Stonehenge in England. Jim Rinder, however you pronounce his name, got all the dimensions of Stonehenge in England and built Carhenge here, pretty much according to the same dimensions as over there. And this was in June of 1987. So anyway, the dimensions are 96 feet in diameter is what this is, just like Stonehenge. And the cars are planted in the ground in pits that were 5 feet deep and trunk first, as you can see. And then the cars that are on top, that are the capstone or the arches, if you will, those are actually welded on so that they don't come tumbling down. And then the heel stone of this whole thing is a 1962 Cadillac, and that's the one that looks like it's coming up from out of the pit. So 1962 Cadillac. But instead of hearing me blabber on more and more about this thing, let's listen to Jim himself talk about how it came together and all that. And this is actually from a documentary that was produced in 2005, I think.
When I was getting ready to retire, living in London in 1980, I was still fairly young at the time, 52 years old, and people said, "What are you going to do when you get in retirement?" And I had visited Stonehenge a number of times, and I was quite intrigued with that monument, so I began answering people that I was going to replicate Stonehenge in Nebraska, kind of a Stonehenge West, if you like. And they said, "Well, what are you going to make that out of?" And I knew that there were many junk cars in western Nebraska and every place else in America. And these cars were more or less the size of the stones at Stonehenge. And furthermore, they had wheels on them, so I knew the logistics would be much simpler. Before I left London, I got some material on Stonehenge, the dimensions of it, the location, how it was oriented, this, that, the other thing. So I was pretty well primed. I had all the information I needed when I came back to the States in 1981 to do it if the occasion arose. Now, to go on a little further, my father died in 1982, and he willed me the farm where I had spent part of my youth. And during the course of the funeral, they said, "You know, we really enjoyed getting together here again and seeing everybody." And they said, "Why don't we get together in 5 years and do something?" So I thought, I had this idea in the back of my mind, why don't we do Carhenge? And they jumped on that with a lot of enthusiasm. Carhenge has been a very good avocation for me. I have a number of avocations, but that's probably the predominant one that has kept me amused for the 17 years since we built Carhenge. I'm very happy that I did it. I'd be glad to do it again. I'm hoping somebody will come along and continue putting sculptures there and make it could be a major attraction. Yeah.
So that was our visit to Carhenge in beautiful Alliance, Nebraska. If you ever get out here, Alliance, Nebraska, 3 miles out of town, and you'll see Carhenge. Let's go see what else we can find on this trip. Come on. Howdy. Looks like it's time to go skiing, huh? Well, not quite. You know why?